Welcome to the Sabrosa podcast, your underground hub. All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Sabrosa podcast. We have a very special episode today. We got Big Dogg in the motherfucking building. You already know what time it is.
From Upper West Side. For me, right now, we in Fantasy Factory right now, you know what I'm saying? Nice little spot that we done put together. Courtesy of my boy Riot and the whole team, Strike 2 Studios and all that. Right now we in a little creative room, everybody a little separate up in that side, you know what I'm saying? But we got all different sections, different type of multimedia stuff, you know what I'm saying? And we got beats playing, all type of stuff in the background.
You literally just made a beat though.
Yeah, in fact.
Like literally, like I told
everything's all creative here. That's all it's so, you know.
A creative hub.
Yeah, absolutely.
The place to be.
100%.
Tap in with you. So they should tap in with you. Tap in with him if you wanna create. You need studio time. You need anything.
Any type of creative needs. We put clothes together. We got a DTG printer. We do screen printing, all type of stuff. So.
Oh, I'm gonna have to highlight you. I told you for my merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause you know you can never have too much merch.
We put all type of stuff together. You know what I'm saying?
So first of all, let's get right into it.
Facts.
How are you?
Good. Feel me? About to go take a vacation soon with the family. Feel me? Focused up. About to put out some new music. My boy Riot about to drop his project. I got a couple joints on there. I got some whole different stuff I'm about to put out, all self-produced. For the most part though, Big Dogg's in a good state mentally, and that's the best part about it, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes some artists, most of the time, they get a little carried away with being so caught up in the aspect of music that it's hard to, like, you know, take a step back and focus on real life and get your mind right and stuff like that. So, you know, yeah, we definitely rocking. We good up here.
Yeah, that's what's important to have the mental, because without the mental being good, things can't progress, things can't go forward.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad to hear that you're in a good space. So, you know, there's so much ground to cover. You know, you had such a career, so I feel like let's take a little trip down memory lane. You down? So, you know, for the people that may not know you and the people that do know you, who is Big Dogg today?
Today?
Well,
Big Dogg is I'm an artist. First of all, I'm a dad. I'm a family man. I'm an artist. I'm a producer. I'm a creator. I'm a visionary. I'm somebody who believes in the power of the mind and the power of art and just putting beautiful things together. Well, no matter what it is, no matter what you're into, you know what I'm saying? As long as you got the heart and the mind for it, just put it together. And I've lived off of that, you know, off of those sayings and those teachings for a long time, you know what I'm saying?
And, you know, having because you've been in hip hop in general, like doing music.
Hell yeah, long time.
Very long time. So I definitely want the viewers to know, and I want you to know from me, like, I want to give you your flowers, you know what I'm saying? Because you really, from young, you've been putting in work, you know, rapping your ass off and really, like, doing things that wasn't the normal to do at a young age.
Right.
So how did you balance, you know, going into, like, you know, you were opening up for big acts, you were on the radio at a young age, you know, like moving and shaking in pretty much in the industry at such a young age? Like, how did you balance that at that time?
Honestly, I couldn't really tell you. I think when you're young and you just focus, like, you really have when you have the opportunity to be able to put in work and get in there, like, you know, actually, like, have studio time, have people who care for you, put you in a position to be able to work and put things together. It's a free for all. It's like wherever your mind goes, like, you know what I'm saying? There's no real preparation for being in the industry and putting in this work, like, or even just music in general. It's like I said, I love being around all creatives. Everybody has a process and everybody has a road to climb and dues to pay. So at a young age, I think being in the position that I was in, I was very thankful. And I knew that with every opportunity that was given, there was a lot of work that had to be put in. So it was like, I knew what the task was, you know what I'm saying? Especially at that age, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you was really, like, like you still like you're doing your own beats, you're doing like you're performing at shows, you're still doing now you're doing other creative ventures, you know what I'm saying? So you're just an overall creative. So I feel like as time goes on, you're just getting better with time. So being in these spaces for so long, when was the earliest memory, like when did you fall in love with music or just with hip hop in general?
I started getting into hip hop. I always been around it because I come from a hip hop neighborhood. Like a lot of the breakdancing history comes from my neighborhood. And hip hop, Rocksteady crew, Rocksteady Park is in my neighborhood. So a lot of those people was around me. And my dad, he used to rap a little bit back in the day, but he was deeply into hip hop. He put me on to a whole lot of stuff. And I really got into it when I was like 11. Like I moved with him to Puerto Rico, and when I moved with him, he put me on to all the classics, all the Big Pun, Biggie, Tupac, Wu-Tang Clan, Nori, like all the old Hot 97 mixtapes used to buy in the street back in the day. Like the first 10 songs would be rap and the other 10 songs would be R&B and shit like that. Like all those mixed CDs. Well, I was young at the time, so you know, when you older, you know about the accessibility. You understand the accessibility at that age. You know, my dad was older, so I was younger. It was like however I can get my hands on it. So my mom didn't allow me to listen to no hip hop in the crib. My mom's Dominican. She from DR, so like she wasn't into none of that hip hop shit. She was like, we're not listening to that.
My mom didn't like that. My mom didn't like it either.
She wasn't going for none of that shit. So I would just I would wait for my dad because how my dad split up and then he moved out to the Bronx. When he moved out to the Bronx, I would go stay with him on weekends. And he would have like a big CD book back when niggas used to, you know, for the youngest, we used to listen to CDs. Everything wasn't on a
right. We used to have to go on LiveWire and stuff.
Yeah, shit like that. So we had CDs back then. So my pops had a big CD book full of different tapes, different albums and shit like that. And every time I would go stay with him, he'd give me his Walkman CD player and be just like, yo, here, but whatever the fuck you want. That's how I started listening to like DMX, Eminem, and all the other stuff and shit like that. I was listening to that early, but I didn't really have teachings of hip hop until I got a little older and I moved over to Puerto Rico with him. And he like started explaining different artist stories to me and different backgrounds of what they mean to the culture. And that helped me gain a perspective of what hip hop meant for me at that age. And I was like at least 11, 12 years old at the time.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it started like very early on for me. Yeah, it was kind of similar for me. Like it was like my cousins in Harlem, like really for me too. So it was just like, because my mom didn't let me listen to it either. Nah. It was just like, no, nosotros no vamos a escuchar esa vaina aquí. No está loca, quítame esa vaina. Like,
they wasn't going for that. Yo, shout out to Dominican moms. Y'all
shout out
to
kids,
mad strict. You know what I'm
mad strict,
I like that. Stick to that. My mom would beat the shit out of me. I'll try to listen to any rap in the crib.
Listen.
Mommy, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
So you're going into, you know, coming from this strong background. How did you handle the transition from living in New York to moving to Puerto Rico?
They moved me over there cold turkey when I was like 9 years old.
And then when did you come back?
I was back and forth from like the age of 9 to about 15.
Damn.
From like 9 to 15, I was moving back.
Do you
and
feel
forth.
like that affected like your creativity?
I think. I mean, I don't think it affected the creativity as much as it did help me gain a perspective of being like versatile with what I like to listen to. Because when I moved over there, like when I moved over there, it was like 2004.
Wow, okay, yeah.
So let's take a second to understand that. So in 2004,
20 years
like
ago.
50 Cent was the hottest nigga in the game, and like Jay-Z
like
was about to retire, and like, you know, Kanye West was coming up.
Yeah, that was
and then I moved to PR, and in 2004 in PR, Daddy Yankee was the hottest nigga, Tego Calderon, and Don Omar, and all that shit. So they don't listen to hip hop in Puerto Rico. For those who don't know, I'm pretty sure that would.
They probably do now.
Probably, yeah, but you know, because hip hop has become so like it's universal now.
Yeah.
So it's transcended into different cultures, subcultures, subgenres. So in PR, they have Spanish rap. They always did. Before it was reggaeton and shit like that. But
Right.
to get back to the topic, they don't listen. At that time when I moved over there, they didn't listen to any hip hop. They was not jacking none of that shit. Unless they go remix Lean Back or some shit like that. True Story, ask whoever the fuck you want. Besides that Daddy Yankee record that he did with Nas, don't even start pumping that shit. None niggas was not bumping none of that shit.
Yo.
But they was listening to straight reggaeton though, and they was spitting bars because they was spitting some gangster shit out there. But I moved over there at the age of 9. I didn't know any Spanish like that. My mom spoke Spanish to me enough for me to understand little things. Go clean up the room. I'ma fuck you up. Shit like that. You know, we grew up in the projects. So I moved over there with my grandparents, my Puerto Rican side. My pops was Puerto Rican. And I didn't know no fucking Spanish. And then my pops, like the first 2 weeks I'm there for vacation in the summer, he like, yo, you ready for school next month? I'm like, it's July. I'm like, you ready for school next month? I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? He's like, yeah, you stay here for school. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
You got stuck over there.
Yeah, and I stood there, but they, in school they had to teach me the dialogue, the dialect, the dialect of how they speak Spanish and how they write the pronunciation, the extra letters as part of their alphabet. Because the first 6 months I was in school, I ain't understand shit. Straight up.
That's cool. So you learned that.
And it started to become a concern for the school because I wasn't able to keep up.
Yeah.
So they had to take me out of the school for like several hours out of the day on some like special ed shit.
And like teach you.
And teach you, yeah, they had to teach me, and it worked.
It worked.
Because I started understanding how to speak more, how to write more. So I know how to write and read in Spanish, which is a lot different than a lot of the Spanish people I know out here today that don't know how to do none of that
That's
shit.
facts.
But they just, they know how to speak it enough to move around. I know how to write and read in that shit.
That's facts.
And it took me a little while. I had to do that shit 9 years old. Let me tell you something, that shit was terrible. That shit sucked.
It sounds like a lot. It
That
sounds like
shit sucked.
it was like mad stressful, like a culture shock, and then on top of that, you gotta learn a whole new language.
Hell fucking
And then
yeah.
on top of that, you can't communicate with motherfuckers. Like that's just crazy.
Man.
But that's interesting. So also besides obviously rapping and making music, you're very deep into the beats. Like you even dropped the whole beat tape.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about like that creative process and what you like about creating like beat production.
I think I can't. Well, when I first wanted to get into music, I wanted to be a DJ.
Oh.
But I didn't know anybody that could help me at the time. And then my godfather George, he used to have a studio and he was a producer. But he had moved out to Pennsylvania when I was young, I believe, like real young. Like I was probably like 11, 12 years old, something like that. So I moved back to New York when I was 15 and my pops got incarcerated. And in the process of that, I tried to get back into rapping. Because I tried to get into making beats and it just became a little too difficult for me. And actually, the first time I tried to make beats, I was going to the Boys and Girls Club in Puerto Rico in the middle of the projects out there. They call them caseríos. And the dude who ran the Boys and Girls Club program knew that I was into music. So he downloaded FL Studio, like the demo version.
Oh, okay.
On a computer that was in the Boys and Girls Club. And he told me that if I wanted to learn how to use it, I could
go on it.
I could use it there, when I pull up and shit. But that didn't really last long because I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. I was like 14, maybe 15 years old. A lot of people at 15 today, they know how to do a lot of shit, but I wasn't knowledgeable to that yet. Like I wasn't that savvy to that kind of shit at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved back over here, I just got serious with rapping. And I did that for a number of years. That's when I became who people know as Bigg Dogg for like my old catalog, 2016 and 2013 when I was with Creative Control, Cootie and Chica, stuff like that. But after I put out the first 48, which was like one of my first real projects, first official projects, That's what the song "Give and Take" is on. That's like one of my most streamed songs. But the day after I the day after I put out the tape, which was September 11, 2016, the day after my homie Marvis Gory, or Marky J, he got a lot of different names. But that's like one of my best friends. He used to make beats from way back. So one day he pulled up after work. He used to work around my neighborhood, like on the Upper West Side. So he pulled up to my crib one night and was like, "Yo, you trying to learn how to make beats?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he always used to like pulling up. We used to hang out, smoke weed and shit like that, just talk shit. And he one day he had his laptop and all his equipment in his bag. It was just like a little laptop and a keyboard. He had headphones and stuff. I didn't have no speakers in that at the time, so he was like, "Yo, you trying to learn how to make beats?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down." And he's like, "Yo, this is how you do this. This is how you do that." He taught me like the fundamentals of learning how to use Logic, how to use Logic Pro. And he just taught me little by little. Yo, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. And it was like a learning lesson for like at least I would say like a month.
Yeah. It was like a learning curve, but then you got it.
Yeah, within the month, and then eventually we was making beats together. Like after like the second month. But I didn't really get that good until like a few years later. At least I feel. Like,
you feel like you got the bug after, like to do it?
Not really. Like I always like doing it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like, you know, when a young kid dribble a basketball, he not always gonna be that good at first. You know, you gotta practice, get better. And it took me a little while.
That's true.
Because I was balancing rapping with that.
So you did mention that you wanted to be a DJ initially.
Yeah.
Would you still be a DJ?
I actually did DJ for a while, but it wasn't like for gigs or nothing. It was like we used to throw parties in my crib.
Yeah.
I used to just like invite 100 people over, and I have virtual DJ. Like before they updated, it was like virtual DJ 7 and shit.
Mhm.
But my mom's knew somebody who used to hack programs and shit like that. And he gave me the official version, like the I guess like the deluxe version or whatever the case may be. And that shit was hitting. And I used to just download mad music. That was like LimeWire days and a little bit after. uTorrent days and shit.
Oh, yeah.
I used to just download whole tapes and projects and albums from people and songs that I like. And I'll just DJ and blend shit all day. And I did that for a number of years, like maybe like from like 16 to maybe like 19. And then once I turned 19, I started getting involved with the studio aspect of it. And being in studios all the time, so I just kind of like left that shit alone and just focused more on rapping and whatever the task was at hand. Like, because I like, my thing is that if I'm not as good with, like, I took the time when I was 15. My goal was to be like, I wanted to be known as one of the nicest MCs. Like, I put in work. Like, my writing game, punchlines, whatever, everything. Like, I wanted to be known as a bar for bar rapper. So I was ready and willing to put whatever time was necessary into being that. So when I started making beats, I considered it a hobby because I wasn't as good with that as I was with the rapping, and I had a lot of other obligations and serious things going on with the rapping that it didn't allow me to take the time to get as good with production as I took the time to get with rapping and everything else. And eventually I was able to find a way to get deeper with production and things like that. And I just wanted, and then actually my main thing was I stopped wanting to ask people for shit, straight up and down, because I always wanted beats and different stuff. I was a very versatile artist. I knew how to do different stuff, from the auto-tune stuff to the hip-hop stuff that I'm known for. So sometimes I would want beats. Maybe I didn't like these. Maybe I liked the other ones, whatever the case was. And then eventually I get tired of contacting people for beats, and then they'll stop responding. And it was like, you know what, man? I'll just fuck around and just do this shit myself.
Yeah, you were like, yo, I'm gonna just take matters into my own hands.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then when I linked up with Riot, my homie Riot, who owns the spot right here, we focused a lot on self-sufficiency. He works on a lot of my artwork, helps me in the creative direction. I help him with production, with songwriting and stuff like that. And we both started helping each other. So it just turned into, whatever we can't go do and find somebody to help us with elsewhere, we're just gonna do it ourselves and figure it out for ourselves.
Right.
And that's what a lot of our team does. We all different. Like some of us rapping and some of us know how to make clothes, or some of us know how to produce, or some of us know how to video direct, or some of us can paint. Everybody has different things. Like Riot is really good with with graphic designing, and he puts dope clothes together. He put the B-Way together right here. You know what I'm saying? Like he helped me design clothing lines. Like we all have different attributes to ourselves that help us come together and put a lot of dope shit together. So once I started getting around that kind of energy is what made me zone in with production and start getting better and be like, all right, you know what? I got enough raps. Let me slow the fuck down. Let's try this. Let's try that. Yo, right. Boom. Let's try this. You know what I'm saying? Just, And then I started gradually getting better with that.
Right.
And then I started finding different pockets. Like, yo, maybe I need to start doing boom bap, and I need to get back into this bag. And then I got this bag for these people. So now it's just, now we in a position where if I like a certain sound, we'll fuck around and just go make it.
Yeah, you're basically getting in your versatile bag, like your versatility bag.
Yeah, but now it's like, now we actually know what the task is, as opposed to when I started, I didn't really know shit. And it took me time to level up and start, building up. We don't got to build up no more. Now if we want something, we go make it happen.
Yeah. Self-sufficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That's really what it's about. Talk to me a little bit. I do want to get into one of your more recent projects, the Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
You have that track, the Forbes list.
Yeah, Forbes list. Yeah.
That's the track that did like pretty much is like your hit on the project. Yeah. And you do have a visual for it that's really dope. I just wanted to congratulate you on that because I did check that out. Absolutely. And I did see like the comments and everybody just loving it, and I feel like that track is really like for me to you, like I felt like that was like your comeback track, like you feel me. I feel like that shit was like, man, New York, that shit was hard. Yeah. So I just want to tell you that shit was official.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So what's are you working on anything coming up?
Yeah, hell yeah. So the Metamorphosis, so the theme behind that track, behind that project really, and the reason why I named it that was because this is like this is like the grand stage for me. Like I've never been in a more comfortable position musically that I'm putting out projects fully produced by myself. I'm usually working with other people, and the production is coming from other directions. And this is the first time I was able to fully say, I want this, I want that. And nobody helped me work on any of the beats. And I pretty much put this whole project together on my own. And I got in a different kind of element with my wordplay. I switched up a whole lot. Like, I kind of just morphed into a whole different type of Big Dog for people to, to vibe with. And the way we gonna dish this project out is gonna be the new one that I'm about to put out. We about to dish it out a whole different style. We about to start really connecting with the fans and start getting real close, up close and personal with all the people who really support, as opposed to just putting shit out on stream and all this other weird shit. Like, I think the way people are digesting music is kind of like off. That direct to consumer thing of being able to just go move your thumb, you can go find shit. There's no thrill these days in the artists that you like. At least I feel there's certain artists who are actually still keeping that element and having people excited to see them and stuff like that, and still they from the root, they coming from the pavement with it. But I think for the most part the way people digest the music is kind of off, and I want to start getting up close and personal with my fans and connecting with them, and you feel me, start building this relationship to where it's like, yeah, I bet, like, Big Dog is always going to deliver some heat, whether it's merch, whether it's music, no matter, we're going to support, just build that core fan base. I think that's the main thing, and that's my main advice too for this whole episode too, is just build that core fan base of people you love all you really need is 500 people, 500, maybe 1,000. But for the most part, you need is at least 500 people to fuck with you. Because 500 people gonna tell the world. And then you do with that information what you will, however you want to digest it. But, you know.
That is really good advice.
All right.
If there was some advice that you could give your younger self, what would it be?
Oh, yeah. Stop smoking so much weed.
You dead ass.
Probably. But if there was any advice I could tell my younger self, it would be to open your eyes and stay focused, because this industry is very devious and the people around it, I don't even think they even realize how devious they are. The ones who are actually snakes, they don't even realize it for themselves. They just that's naturally the way they are, a lot of people. You know, this game is kind of crazy, so yeah, I would definitely tell my younger self, yo, stay focused and, you know, keep your eyes sharp and your ears sharp, because at a young age I was not. So it took time. I had to learn, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to elevate, get my mind right, and not put myself in bad positions in my business, and not, you know, tarnish your brand, none of that.
And the thing is, like, I feel like when we're younger, we don't realize, like, we are the company we keep. So it's like, like, you could be moving a certain way, but you also have to make sure that your energy around you is also...
There's a lot of laziness in the game today, like...
Yeah.
Like, even in the younger scene, like, people aren't really, like, there's no artist development no more, you know? The game has changed a lot. Like I was just talking about self-sufficiency for me. There's a whole other aspect of that that's, to me, is kind of off too. Where the young kids, like, you know, nobody really wants to take direction from anybody. Everybody just wants to lead, and nobody wants to follow any good advice, or, you know, they don't think they need it. You know, people like a lot of clout more than they like actually being smart and having money. I noticed that.
And also people don't want to put in work because the internet, so they just want the instant gratification.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They don't really want, like, or they want to just, like, know the right people so they could get lit or whatever, instead of, like, putting in the groundwork, you know, like the fundamental. Because sometimes I feel like it's about the journey, really, you know, because that's usually the funnest part. So it's like you can't just get shit instantaneously. Like that. I
think I'm realizing in time that it's just like not the same for a different crowd these days. I think it all depends on how you, like, what you allow in your life. Like, as far as, like, us with this culture, we've been around it our whole lives. Like you say, your brothers and your cousins put you on. Mm-hmm. Same way my dad and my family put me on. So we were taught this from a young age.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those kids, they were also taught it, but I guess they were taught it a little differently. And there was more guidance when we were growing up as opposed to today. A lot of the old, there's a really big disconnect between the older kids, the older cats, and the young guys. Because the younger guys don't want to listen to none of the shit the old heads is talking about. Mm-hmm. And the old heads always think that the younger guys is bugging out, wilding, you know?
But when we were younger, we did listen to the older people.
Yeah.
So that's the difference is.
Because that disconnect wasn't there back then.
But did we fail as, like, because now we're, like, the older ones, but it's just, like, times are different. Did we fail?
It's hard to say whether we failed or not, because life to me is a cycle.
Yeah.
And what happened 20 years ago, what happened 10 years ago, what happened 5 years ago, it's happening again. And it happens in different ways.
Word.
I think that the right people, I would say that the right people who had asserted the right dominance and people respected the most, tricked themselves out of their position to not be around to teach the next generation. And the ones that they left around were the people who basically inherited all the negative and didn't really want to teach any of the positive that they were taught. You know, and every hood is different though. Like, you know, we just talking about New York.
Right, because every city's different.
Yeah, there's still a lot of proper teachings of the youth in different places, but for the most part, whole fucking country bugging out. You know what I'm saying? But we could only speak for New York, Jersey area. You know what I'm saying?
Right, where we're at,
The
because we
youngins
don't know.
listen to nothing the OGs are saying at all.
No.
They're not hearing it. Unless,
Nobody wants to hear anything.
unless an older cat is literally putting money inside of a young kid's pocket and not really trying to listen to nothing they got to say. Unless them young kids are smart, you know? Because not all these youngins are stupid. I fuck with a lot of the youngins. A lot of the youngins is my peoples, my homies. You know what I mean? The youngins I watch grow up, and they smart dudes, you know what I'm saying? Not saying they in the street, not saying they doing nothing negative, but these is young kids who want to make something of themselves, and they understand the position that they in. They don't want to trick themselves out, because we're seeing a lot of young kids crash out. Like K Flock was one of my favorite rappers, like from that little drill scene. Look where he at, you know what I'm saying? And free him, you know, free him in his situation he got going on, but look what that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you think about, like, how the drill scene is? Like, what do you think about, you know?
I like where the drill scene going right now. I don't really, I'm gonna just put it out. I don't really listen to I don't listen to the negative part of it like that.
It's just for the creative part of it, but like the music.
I think it's cool. I think hip hop has grown so much that there's a lane for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be a boom bap hip hop rapper now, and you could be mingling with the drill rapper and all that. You know, whatever your following is, his following, whatever the case is. But there isn't too much mingling, and if there is, everybody stays in that lane.
Right.
I like where the drill scene is at as far as things that's not too violent. Cause I've been around that shit way too long, and I have my own way of talking. The same type of shit that they talk in their drill records, we just talk about it differently. We talk about it because this is street rap. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of people fail to realize they talk shit about drill so much, bro. At one point, drill was what boom bap was. Boom bap was like unaccepted to a lot of the hip hop culture back then. Cause everybody knew niggas was bringing that rugged raw shit, Onyx and all that. Niggas act like Onyx and MOP and all them niggas was stomping niggas out, shooting, stabbing niggas at shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't none of that going on when that music was out. It's the same shit that was going on back then is going on now. It's like life is a cycle. The only difference is that disconnect that I'm telling niggas about. You know what I'm saying? It was a disconnect back then too. Like, the old heads from the 70s and the 80s, they wasn't really jacking none of the niggas that was out there bugging out in the 90s. Same way niggas our age, some of us don't, or some of us are the ones older than us, they don't really jack none of the young niggas is doing what they do. It's always gonna be a disconnect, you know?
So would you say that the drill is like the modern version of the boom bap from back then?
I would say so. And it's transitioning in a more pop-ish.
And things change, though.
You know, shout out Cash Cobain and all them, all two Mo.
Yeah,
all
I
that.
just
My
had
boy
this conversation
from my hood.
That's fire.
Yeah, like he
buzzing.
He buzzing. Yeah, he buzzing up right now. He doing his thing. But
and his transition is changing, like the sound.
All the sexy drill and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's good because niggas need to wake the fuck up. We can't be over here talking this violent shit all the time. Not all the time. Like, I talk street shit, but it's like if every record is crazy. Mm-hmm. That shit don't be making no sense, yo. And then they be sounding crazy. They sound crazy, bro.
Do you see yourself continuing to create more beat tapes in the future? Like full productions of just beats?
Hell yeah, I got a whole, I'm working on a rebranding. Who I am for hip hop. I'm about to turn 30 years old, so I feel like in my next 10 years I wanna make this the golden years of my art. So where whoever is starting to get into listening to me, they're showing up at the right time. Because some of the best shit is about to drop, you know. And it's starting off with this project I'm calling it The Great Dane. I'm not announcing no details yet, but The Great Dane coming. I got it's all fully produced by me, all some stupid, sick, ill shit. You know what I'm saying? Fire. Some of the illest shit in the world, straight out the city, you know. But yeah, definitely that. Yeah, definitely a lot of cook up going on.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Yeah,
You already
yeah,
know he
yeah,
got
yeah.
a project fully done by him, and I feel like that must be a great feeling, right?
Hell
Like you're
yeah.
like, yo, I did this from top to the bottom of myself down to the production, like.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, I know you're not talking about it, but I like, are there features or is it like you by
Yeah, hell yeah. I got a
yourself?
few features. Yeah, I got a few features. We got a lot of dope shit in there. We got a lot
That's
of dope shit in there.
fire. That's fire. I'm excited. I can't
Hell
wait to
yeah.
hear it. And are you open? If somebody's watching this, are you open to like collaborations?
Hell yeah. Anybody who's
Um,
like really dope and you serious about your shit, you already know, hit me. On
Yeah.
Instagram, Big Dog UWS, BIGGDOGGUWS. Just hit me there. Send a DM, whatever the fuck. Leave a comment. Yo, I hit you up, whatever the fuck. If I don't see it. Yeah, let's get to
And
work. And if niggas really serious, you know what I'm saying?
right,
I,
they have to be serious about what they're doing.
I take a lot, like I said, I take a lot of pride in the creative aspect of this thing.
Right.
So I'm not really, I don't like wasting no time for the most part. But I'm really open to collaboration on drill stuff. Jersey Club, I do a lot of that. Anybody who's trying to,
Jersey Club is fire.
any producers trying to put in some work, come hit the Dog up, pull up to the Fantasy Factory.
Jersey Club, yo, listen, you might get some hitters for that because we got
hell
Jersey in the building on the
Yeah,
pod.
hell yeah.
That's fire. And then that sound is going crazy right now.
Hell yeah.
So more creative ventures to come.
Absolutely.
More shows to come.
Absolutely.
Stay tapped in. Come here. Pull up on the guys. You feel
Pull up
me?
to the Fantasy Factory for all your creative needs. We do music, we do fashion, we do art, we do rental space, we do
Fantasy
all types
Factory,
of stuff.
y'all.
You know what I'm saying? This is a place where creative can come here, not only get a little bit of money, but put something together. You know what I'm saying?
And build and do what you gotta do, y'all.
This is a beautiful place to be. You know what I'm saying?
In order to grow, we have to surround ourselves with beautiful energy. And then you could just work with Big Dog, like it's a win-win situation. You feel me?
Hello.
So, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. This is a long time coming. So, see, painless. We just had a convo, chilling, podcast, blessed the pod. So thank you for that. I had to pull up on him, but you feel me? We here. We in the building. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Y'all already know we got another episode, and tell everybody where they can follow you.
Yo, on Instagram, BIGGDOGGUWS. On all platforms, Big Dog. Metamorphosis dropped in February. Got a new project coming out soon. My boy Riot dropping his project soon. You know, we all building up. We got a lot of stuff coming out. You feel me? Stay tuned, yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tapped in, y'all.
Stay tapped in with us.
Stay tapped in, y'all. Y'all already know this is another episode. I'm Steph, your host. Follow me at the Sabrosa Effect. We have updated our Instagram name. It's at the Sabrosa Effect. And make sure y'all tap in with Big Dog. We're here. We're in the Fantasy Factory in motherfucking New York in the fucking building. We out of here. Motherfuckers is going to a show tonight. She's gonna get active. Peace.